Hi, everybody. If you don't remember from the last time or from any other time, this is Holly from Confirmit, and I wanted to spend a little time with you today. If you recall, or if you were among the people who attended or checked out last week's live stream, we have this new thing going now. Every week, we are going to be doing a live stream where we come and talk to you about fun stuff. We're all stuck at home right now, so we figured this is a great opportunity to somehow connect, get to know and get to see everybody, at least sort of get to see you. There's a comment box. Feel free to comment, ask questions, whatever your choice may be. We have dubbed this series that we're doing Thinking from Home. I unilaterally, however, changed that to Thinking and Drinking from Home. The way I see it, we're all stuck at home. Every week has been a challenge or full of challenges since this whole thing happened. I'm going to refer to it as the pandemic that shall remain nameless, just because I think we're sick of hearing about it now. But, this is a big challenge for all of us. So by Friday, I think we're pretty burned out, and it's a good opportunity to spend some time doing something that is productive, because we're going to talk about, important things to our business lives, but at the same time, we don't necessarily have to take ourselves too seriously. So that's why I decided that we are going to introduce a little bit of relaxation into our Friday afternoon. So if you don't have your adult beverage of choice yet in hand, I highly recommend you go get one, and we'll have some fun today. Last week we spent a little time talking about, what did we talk about last week? Oh, storytelling and visualization. And I think that went really well. It's a great topic. This week, I have something that I think is pretty important too. Actually, perhaps even more important. The storytelling and visualization idea is huge. We need to make sure that people understand what we're trying to get across, and being able to tell that story is really important. But now, more than ever before, we've gotten into a whole new world. We're all stuck at home. We're all trying our best to survive in very different circumstances. And I think that we're going to find that there's a lot of new stuff that's being introduced, right? We're all, many of us are working from home. As you can see, I'm here, I'm at home. I did have dogs here before. I think my dogs have deserted me at this point. But, it's a new world. We're trying out new things. This work from home thing, basically anything you need, we're buying on the internet. And that has created a whole series of challenges, not just because of shipping delays and so on, but it's just different for many people. And I think today what I'd like to kind of focus on is spending some time talking about digital. The digital experience is something. It's pretty important to many businesses, but there's still a wide number of people who before now hadn't done much in terms of adoption. So, some of the news articles I'm seeing now, things like, contactless payments are becoming a thing for, many of our European followers or friends, colleagues, whatever. You've been doing contactless forever. It's not a thing for you, but I'll tell you this, in the United States, contactless is brand new. I don't even have all my credit cards can't even do contactless yet. I have a couple, but really that's just been recent. Streaming, I stream everything, not just YouTube. Obviously, we're here right now. That's, this is a great example of streaming. But beyond that, Netflix has taken over the planet, and Amazon, their movies and their Amazon Prime stuff, and Hulu and Disney Plus and CBS All Access and all those streaming companies. It's taken over our entertainment. Even movies are now being released direct to our TV as opposed to going through a theater. Video conferencing. We've all heard about all the different video conferencing things. Zoom has kind of taken over the world. And, it's a whole new universe that we're living in right now. Once upon a time, meetings were face-to-face. Now they're video to video. Again, contactless payments when you are out and about. I'm buying a lot more on websites, and actually trying out websites that I'd never gone to before because they have things in stock or they can ship more quickly. So there's just so many changes in my own behavior that I can sort of get a feel for what's happening out there in the marketplace for other people. And the news is reflecting exactly what I'm seeing, exactly what I'm feeling. So I thought, this is something we need to explore. as I'm going to these various websites and I'm buying the things I need, my essentials, and sometimes the occasional non-essential that I really just want to have for whatever reason, I run into challenges, and I'm sure many of you have too. And it's really sort of raising up the fact that our digital experience is not where we might want it to be. Um, the challenges abound, and I get, it's a very weird time. Everybody's gone digital, but I genuinely believe we're not going back. When we look at a situation like we're in right now, I think more and more people are being converted to an understanding that digital is easier. It cuts out the time where you have to go to the store or sit in traffic or whatever the case is. And some of these digital options are going to make people's lives easier. So I think, where we were already seeing that escalation, that growth in digital, my opinion on the matter is, and I think a lot of analysts are saying the same thing, is that, we sort of just leapt like 10 years into the digital future. And unfortunately, the digital experience that many businesses have created, is not quite caught up. And that creates, again, a pretty significant challenge. We need to make sure that the experience we're presenting to the customers is going to keep them coming back to us. And it's all different things. It's difficulty finding things on the website. It's, indecisiveness, not being sure if I want to make the purchase. These are the things that I'm experiencing. And these are the things I think that we can address, and I think we need to address. But I think a lot of businesses really need to sit up and realize now's the time to address it really quickly. And there's yet to be created a time machine that can take us back to this disaster, or back to before this disaster, so we can fix it. But it's not too late to fix it now and start improving that experience. But I think that opens a whole new can of questions. What do we need to do? How do you fix the digital experience? What are the problems? I mean, if my thinking on the matter is, if a business knew that their digital experience was awful, they wouldn't have made it awful to begin with, right? So clearly, you might not even know that your digital experience has problems. It's kind of like impossible to figure out exactly where you need to start. How do you improve something you don't know for sure? Clearly, it makes sense to you, or you wouldn't have done it. But there are ways, and I think one of the easiest ways is to ask. And, it seems pretty straightforward. Ask people their opinion. Ask your customers, they're coming to your website, hey, what do you think? When they're doing certain behaviors, ask them why. Try and get that feedback from them so that they can tell you exactly what they want, what they need from your digital experience. It can also be in other forms too. Remember, not only are websites exploding, but beyond websites, you've got the phone. Everybody's got a phone. I got my cell phone sitting here plugged in right at my desk. It's never within more than an arm's reach away. What about your mobile experience? People are using their mobile phones even when they're doing other things on websites. We'll be sitting in front of our TV. My kids and I will be sitting in front of our TV, watching whatever show we're binge watching, which, in case you want to know how much of a nerd I am, currently we're binge watching Star Trek. But that's aside. But we'll be sitting there watching TV, and all three of us, me and my two daughters, are all sitting there watching and playing on our phone simultaneously. And that playing on my phone might be a game. It might be, something I'm looking over, news I'm reading. But very often it's also various things that I'm scrolling through, like Amazon or one of the digital retailers that I buy from, and making various purchases. So the mobile thing is equally important to anything we're doing on the internet. So what about figuring out a way to ask your customers in their mobile? When they're on your app, when they're playing with your app, simply asking them, hey, how's this experience working for you? Are you getting what you need? What kind of challenges are you running into? What can we do to do better? With that, once again, I almost forgot we're drinking together today. We need to do this to unwind and relax, and just take advantage of the fact that we're home and it's Friday. So let's take our sip. We'll take a break for our sip. So again, I think that these are some really important considerations. I would take that a step further, that, the initial assumption, hey, I'm listening to Confirmit right now. They're just talking about embedding surveys into my app and into my website. And yes, to an extent, I totally am. Obviously, that is a solution to get feedback, but that's not the end all. Beyond, tick boxes, you want to listen to what people are saying. So digital is a big, broad world. We want to give people the ability to provide us their words, their language. So yes, a survey is a great place to start, but consider how that survey is going to actually look. Are you only going to give people tick boxes? Are you only going to give them drop-down menus? I don't think that's the brightest idea. Plain and simple, you can't necessarily know what people's feedback is going to be until you hear it. So setting up what those drop-down menus are going to be or what those tick boxes are going to be is really going to limit what you can learn from your customers. So maybe it's a matter of giving them a nice open space where they can type out, or if they want to use their speech to text kind of capabilities on their mobile, for example, maybe you want to give them an opportunity to have somewhere that they can type their thoughts. And this is not as terrifying as it might sound. We have the opportunity to simplify how all that can be interpreted and read through various capabilities with text analytics and capabilities to establish models with things like, we have a product called Model Builder that helps you to set up a model to interpret it properly. And even automation that can help you to create those models so you can sort of surface those insights that people are putting into their open text. But again, it doesn't stop with surveys. And, surveys, again, I love them. They're wonderful. We're Confirmit. It's our thing. It's one of our things. But that's the thing, is it's only one of the means of collecting feedback from your customers. And you need to think this through. If you're only looking at one channel, one means of getting feedback from your customers, you are missing a huge plethora of possible opportunities to get feedback from your customers. So let's talk about a digital channel where you can get feedback without actually asking for it. Guess where? All right. Nope, nobody's guessing. All right, social media. People are talking on social media, and perhaps about you, maybe about your products, your services. But I think, so there are some people who might sit on this and say, well, social media, we're a B2B company. We don't do social media. I would beg to differ. You may not think you're on social media, but you're totally on social media. You have to remember, even in a B2B setting, social media is used by people. People use your products. Even B2B doesn't get the people component out of this. So yeah, you're on social media, whether you know it or not. No, social media is a broad thing too. Keep that in mind. Social media isn't just about my Facebook, my personal Facebook, or my personal Twitter, or social media goes into anywhere that people are socially sharing information. So that's your rating and review sites. That's your blogs that specialize sometimes in B2B. And, I've kind of made this very, very customer oriented as well, but I want to point out to our researchers, we've got market research customers and partners who may be looking at this and going, well, this doesn't apply to me. Yes, it does. Your customers, your end clients, your research buyers are fumbling. This is a tough time for business. Just turn the news on for 5 minutes and you'll know what I'm talking about. Your end customers, your buyers need to have an understanding of what they need to fix, how they need to get through this. And digital is the solution. Digital is where sales are at right now. And again, I don't see it changing anytime soon. And when you're planning that digital strategy, keep in mind, it's the website, it's the apps, it's social media. Digital is not, one and done. It's not just a quick, stick a survey on a website. Consider where people are coming from, where they're talking. Consider giving them the ability to speak their mind, not just tick boxes and drop downs. And don't worry, there is automation to help you wade through. And we can always help you with that stuff. So I think we're getting to a point, I wanted to keep this short and bite-sized, mainly because that's what people seem to like to watch. So we're going to keep this to around the 15-minute mark. So I'm going to start to wind down. I hope you've enjoyed this today. We will be back next Friday. Same time, same place, same YouTube channel. So hopefully you will subscribe and like this video if you did in fact like this video. I hope you did. But subscribe to us too. That'll give you those updates, and there's a little alarm bell you can click on that will tell you when I go live and when we post new stuff on the channel. So hopefully you'll go ahead and do all that fun stuff. And if you didn't remember to bring your adult beverage of choice with you the last time, bring it this time. Bring it next time. Next time, we're actually going to have a couple of us. One of my colleagues and I are going to get together, and we're going to chat through our summer reading list. It's, again, weird time. We're going to be hopefully spending more time outdoors and, sitting in the garden, sitting in the backyard, by the pool, whatever your thing is. And reading is a good thing. Reading is a great way to pass the time. And we have some great recommendations and tips for you on books that we think are fantastic. Things that hopefully all of us can read together. Maybe you can tell us how you think about them if you've read the books before, but books that we think are going to be very important to all of our development in terms of being professionals. So it will be the business book list for this summer. So cheers. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Friday, and I hope you'll join us next week. Again, remember, subscribe, click the bell thing, and like this video if you did. Looking forward to chatting with you next week, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.